I'm Leslie Sabraco. For the past 15 years, I've been the host of an Emmy Award-winning restaurant show and a national travel and food show, both on PBS. Over the years, I've indulged in my fair share of delicious dairy dishes, and I'm excited for today's treats. Welcome to the cook-off finals of the inaugural 2021 California Dairy2Go competition, brought to you by, of course, the California Milk Advisory Board. Now, as you can see behind me, we're at the Culinary Institute of America's Copia facility in Napa, California. It is the ideal location to show off the latest innovations in restaurant carry-out meals. Now, the California Dairy2Go competition was inspired by chefs and food service operators who had to make tremendously quick and creative pivots to adjust menus for the takeout and delivery model during the pandemic. Now, with a spotlight on to-go meals, the California Milk Advisory Board has invited 12 chefs from across the country to submit recipes in 3 categories. Now, we're focusing on the most creative use of California cheese and dairy in the off-premise dishes. Our esteemed panel of judges, you can see behind me, selected the top 2 entries in each category, and these 6 chefs are competing on our live broadcast in head-to-head cook-offs. At stake is over $20,000 in prize money, and of course the prestige of winning our inaugural competition. The 3 champions will be awarded $5,000 each, and each runner-up will get $1,500. Now, today we are broadcasting 3 separate cook-offs covering our culinary categories, which are cheese and mac, our favorite comfort food, Cal-Mex, and Innovate to Go. As I mentioned, we're coming to you live from the fabulous Heston Kitchens, you see behind me, here at the CIA Copia facility. And as you can see, the 2 chefs in our first category have begun preparing their dishes. I hear them behind me, rattling pots and pans. After making their meal, they will place them in a carry-out container and present them to the judges for their evaluation. We'll then be able, after the judges do their work, to announce the winner and award the chefs their prize money. So before we meet our 2 chef contestants in the cheese and mac cook-off, I would like to introduce you to the Vice President of Business Development for the California Milk Advisory Board, Bob Carroll. Hi, Bob, come on in.
Leslie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited for today's shows.
Me too.
All right. Well, I want to ask you a few questions about CMAB. Tell us about the mission of California Milk Advisory Board.
Sure. Our mission is very simple, and it's to increase demand for all dairy products that use real California milk.
All right, well, that's a pretty simple and delicious mission, right? And tell us about how you and the CMAB support California dairy farmers, especially during this time, of course.
Absolutely. So first of all, we're funded by the dairy farmers. So we work on their behalf to increase demand, as I said, and it cuts across all the different places that dairy is used, from retail, of course, to international and exports, and food service, which is a big, important part of what we do as well.
Well, and I want to ask you about that, because you explain the importance of food service to the CMAB.
Sure. So food service is about 1/3 of our total dairy volume in California here, but it's also a source of a lot of trends. Right. Where new things start. Creativity is just a core part of the food service culture. And from our perspective, we love the idea of being able to help inspire more innovation that uses real California dairy.
And that's really what led into this competition, isn't it? This
Absolutely.
To Go, because it's responding to the trend and to what's happening in the world with the pandemic and how people have had to change and pivot.
Yeah, and we're always looking at trends. And from our perspective, the trends that are going to be lasting are the ones that we really want to help accelerate, make sure that dairy is a core part of the ideas, the innovation, and the growth.
All right. Well, I am very, very excited for today's competition. And we've got a couple of really great chefs. And we're going to meet with, in the cheese and mac category, we're going to meet with Alex Sadowski, who is from Dallas, Texas, and he's going to be making a wonderful California cacio e pepe cheese and mac for us today. And we're also going to be talking to Chef Carrie Baird, who is making a wonderful skipjack and cheesy mac. So I'm going to head off and talk to the chefs now and grab my microphone, and please join me. Come on. Are we ready, everybody?
We're ready.
Say that louder. Are we ready? We're ready. All right, we are ready. And we're ready to get this competition going. And I see Alex has already got everything stirred up. And Alex Sadowski, nice to see you.
Nice to meet
and
you.
nice to meet you. And you are from Dallas, Texas. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm not originally from Dallas. I'm a transplant because nobody's actually from Dallas.
That's true.
Right? I was born and raised in D.C., moved all around, but spent a lot of time in Minnesota and a little bit of time in Montreal, and then got addicted to cooking. So started cooking when I was about 12 years old, ended up convincing my father, who's a professor, that I should go to culinary school instead of go to college. So if you ever want to piss off a professor, that's what you should do.
How did you sell that one?
I brought him to the CIA. So
Okay.
we went to the Hyde Park campus, and he was 100% sold. And since then, I've just kind of kept it rolling. Ran away from the cold. That's how I
Right.
ended up in Dallas. But
Yeah, you were in St. Paul in Dallas, it says here, and,
Yeah.
and corporate executive chef at Twin Peaks Restaurants, a chain of over 80 restaurants.
almost 90 right now. We'll be at 100 probably by the end of the year. Maybe 120. We're in 3 countries currently.
That's
And we
fantastic.
sell quite a bit of California cheese
I
currently.
love it. Well, I
So.
smell something delicious here.
I'm
let me
ready
tell
for you guys.
So, what do you have? What was the inspiration for your dish? And tell me the cheeses that you've used.
Okay, so I am using a triple cream brie, a manchego, and then a dry jack.
Ooh, 3
Right?
cheeses.
As well as quite a bit of butter, cream, milk. I even cooked the pasta in milk entirely, so it never went into
Wow.
water. And the inspiration is cashew e pepe, which I'm really worried about because Italians have it near and dear to their heart. So I'm like worried about death threats, right? Because if you're like, that's not cashew e pepe.
No, but it was inspired by.
Correct. So
right?
inspired by cashew e
inspired
pepe.
Inspired
Yeah.
by. So we are great. Well, we'll let you get cooking
thank
as
you.
we go talk to Carrie. And I am looking forward to trying this one. I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite dishes from Italy. So
got plenty of
you've
cheese
got,
for you guys,
All
don't
right,
worry.
plenty of California cheese. All right, follow me over here. We have chefs cooking away through these Heston kitchens. This is wonderful. We're heading over to Carrie. And I'm going to talk to Carrie about her dish. I see something, lots of things boiling here. Right? Hi, Carrie. Let me stand over here so that we can get you on camera. I see your prep over here.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about you, Carrie, because you are an executive chef at some Denver restaurants.
Uh-huh.
And I actually was born and raised in Denver. So
Oh, great. We love Denver, yes. But yeah, we have a couple restaurants in Denver, and yeah, we just love Colorado.
And how did you get inspired to become a chef?
oh gosh.
What was your trajectory?
Well, after I went to university and I flunked out. And so what I decided to do is go to Colorado and become a professional skier.
There you go.
And you have to support yourself if you want to ski all day, so I started working in restaurants.
Right.
And then I started front of house, but I wasn't very fulfilled. I didn't enjoy that very much. So then I went to culinary school, and here we are.
And it's very difficult to be, judging pasta and cooking as she's talking to me. So I respect that completely. And I've got a few notes on you. All-star judge on Top Chef season 18.
Yep, that's the season that just ended.
Yeah.
And I was, because of COVID, they brought the alumni judges back so we could all be quarantined together. So I did 8 episodes. It was awesome. It was in Portland, Oregon.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good.
Lots of fun. And what are you cooking for us today? And how did you get inspired to make this dish?
So this is cheesy mac. One of the questions I get as a chef all the time is, you must eat such gourmet food all the time. You must cook just amazing food for yourself, and that's not true.
Right.
Anything that's easy that I can eat as fast as humanly possible. So my cheesy mac is based on what I eat at home after a long shift, after a long day, and it's actually cheesy mac that I chose.
Cheesy mac with lots of delicious
Yeah.
mix-ins,
Yep.
it looks like.
Yep, mine is skipjack. Skipjack is a really great tuna. If you look hard enough at a well-stocked grocery store, you can find skipjack packed in oil. That's the secret to my dish.
Skipjack and oil. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so that's your inspiration for this dish.
Yeah.
It's just
This is
good-
what I eat.
This is what you eat. I love it. Well, we'll let you get to
Okay,
it
see
as
you in a
we head
minute.
over to meet the judges. All right, those are our two chefs vying for today's title for the Cheesy Mac. And now we're getting to our tremendous judging panel. And you need a microphone, don't you? No, you have one. You have a microphone. All right. Welcome, everybody, the judges. Let's give them a round of applause for those of us who are here. All right. So I'm going to have each judge do a little intro of themselves. I know a lot about you, but I'm going to do it. So we've got Barbara Alexander. And Barbara, you are a certified executive chef, certified culinary educator from the American Culinary Association, and you're an instructor here at the CIA.
Correct, yes, I'm a consultant for the Culinary Institute of America. I work here at Kobe in these fantastic kitchens.
Beautiful.
And I have a couple of side hustles like most chefs, and I'm super happy to be here. I love it. I love working for the CMAB, awesome people.
All right.
Thank you so
and
much.
The next judge that we have, so we have Barbara Alexander. Our next judge is Neil Doherty. Hello, Neil.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great,
Get that
thank
mic
you.
right up there. All right. And Neil, you are corporate executive chef and senior director of culinary development at Cisco Corporation, correct?
That is correct, yes, in Houston, Texas. So
In Houston,
delighted to be out here in Napa Valley where the weather is so much better.
We don't have quite as much humidity out here as they do in,
Absolutely true.
in Texas. Fantastic. And you're excited about today, yeah?
I am, yes, because we are really big partners with California Milk Board. So it's going to be great to see some of these Californian cheeses in action. So it's going to be really, really cool and tasty too.
And tasty. I can't wait. My stomach is growling already. All right, and our final judge, the fantastic, the wonderful, a friend of mine, I have to say, Dusky Estes, is culinary personality extraordinaire, television chef, co-owner of Black Pig Meat Company, which is wonderful, best bacon around, and McBride Farm. So, Dusky, tell us a little bit about you and what you want to be doing here today.
Well, I'm very much in the mood to have cheese for breakfast.
And let me just hang on with that. Drum roll.
But I was born and raised in California. We love our California farmers and ranchers. I am one. I am a chef, farmer, and rancher, and I am very happy to start my day with cheese.
Fantastic. She's starting her day with cheese and a little bit of bacon, I'm sure. I know.
Yeah, they go well together.
They go. Well, I'm going to ask you, Dusky, I know I've eaten lots of your food over the years. What is the central role that dairy plays as an ingredient, of course, in the dishes we're going to see today, but also dairy in general when you're cooking with dairy? What is its role?
Well, I obviously love its luscious, like coating, melty goodness. But to quote somebody famous, fat and flavor. And fat is a good thing in my book. We raise our pigs outside, so they pack on fat. When you eat food with the right kind of fat, it actually fills you up in a good way. So today I'm looking for great flavor and some of that goodness in fat.
Some of that good fattiness. That's the reason we all love cheese. All right, Neil, you get the hard question today on this one. In the past year and a half, carry-out and delivery has really become a major focus of restaurants, obviously, to survive the pandemic. And they've pivoted so quickly, so many restaurants, especially those that have survived. What are a few important factors to look for in to-go dishes? Because that's what the focus today is, to-go dishes, right?
Yeah, and you're 100% right there. The biggest issue to me for portable food is, does it arrive to you looking and tasting as good as it can? So sometimes we get overly complicated. And if you really think about the real to-go food, we think about pizza, right?
Right.
I mean, it's been happening forever. So I think what happened when people pivoted, some of it got a little overly complicated. And that's what we're really excited about today's competition, is to see how the chefs bring forward their dishes in the right containers and the right way to be portable, and that when I get that dish and it comes in front of us, that it's going to look and feel like a restaurant prepared meal. Because in essence, we're buying to go to feel a restaurant experience at home, We don't really want an experience that we can do ourselves. We want something just a little bit better and creamy.
And actually, Neil, I'd like to do a follow-up question with Dusky, because having been an owner of restaurants, how difficult is it to make these to-go dishes be appealing and be, make the trek from the restaurant home and be delicious still?
Yeah, you really have to think about how it's going to travel. Because cheese sauce would tend to absorb and dry out. So you have to, have it be a little bit looser from the kitchen so that by the time it's setting on the way home, it's absorbed and still beautiful and creamy and luscious,
and you're
like
not
we
getting
all
the
want it to be.
sogginess
So it does take a lot of strategy, for sure, when you're dealing with cheese.
All right. Agree with that, Neil?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about strategy and testing it yourself, like putting the dish together, putting it in a hot box or putting it out and letting it stand for 45 minutes, because that's the average, 20 to 45 minutes before someone's going to stick their fork in it. And if it doesn't do it for you, it's definitely not going to do it for the customer.
Think about that, 20 to 45 minutes. It's true. You really have to think about it, because I've gotten many to-go dishes that are not as appealing when you open the box. It's all sort of jumbled together and things. So, Barbara, I'd like to ask you today, what are you looking for? I mean, let's take the cheese-centric approach.
Sure.
How is cheese going to play a role in these dishes today?
Well, I, like most chefs, probably my fellow judges, we're looking for a nice balance. So we want the cheeses to pop, but no one cheese over the other cheese.
Right.
So I know some of the contestants are going to be putting several cheeses in their dish, and we want to see all of those shine in the best way possible. So I think that what we're looking for is we're going to bite into that and go, oh, I taste some manchego. Oh, wait a minute, I taste some. Okay, and that sort of a feeling.
That's what
so
you're going to be
taking on
for.
a bit of a ride to see what that's like. Yeah, so we're excited. Yeah.
Well, let me check in with the chefs. How are we doing in terms of getting ready to present the dishes? You guys are ready? Fantastic. Well, I will tell you about the criteria that the judges are using after our wonderful contestants and chefs have presented their dish. So I'm going to bring in Alex first. Tell us, okay, Alex, here we go. You've been working hard, just put it right there, and tell us a little bit about your dish.
All right, so I did a cashew e pepe inspired pasta, cheese and mac with triple cream brie, manchego cheese, and then a very dry jack to try and take the place of like a Parmesan. And I also did a very heavily roasted and kind of coarse ground black pepper to go along with it, because I really wanted to layer a lot of the different textures, because this is a really simple dish. And then I topped it.
Cacio e pepe is a simple dish in Italy, right?
Exactly. So it's one of those things that you have to nail kind of every single ingredient that's going into it, and use really, really high quality ingredients as well. And my little tip and trick that I did as well, I cooked the pasta entirely in milk. And then I cooled that down in milk. So it takes a lot longer to cook, but it absorbs all of that and it comes out so much creamier. And then like what the judges were talking about, as that dish is traveling too, if something happens to leach out, at least it's leaching out milk into the cream sauce, as opposed to
soaking up that beautiful milk.
So you're just not diluting that cheese and everything else, it's just adding to it.
Fantastic. Well, I see the judges are serving up their plates.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab that back from you. I see.
Little breadcrumbs.
Do you have any questions, actually, as you guys are starting
sourdough with a little
Alex?
bit of roasted garlic as well, and then just some fresh chopped parsley.
So beautiful breadcrumbs on there. So I see Carrie walking over with her to-go container. And Chef Carrie, tell us and tell the judges what this beautiful dish, oh, that's pretty. Take a look at that.
Hi, I get to hold it, thanks.
Yeah.
Hi guys. So my cheesy mac today is inspired from the mac that I cook for myself after work. Somebody's gonna have to take charge with this one and stir it up, because it's garnished with a hen egg or yolk. Your California produce and the markets here are insane. So I just kept that yolk raw as could be. So stir it up, and the heat of the mac, the noodle itself is a lumiconi, which is in the snail, like struded. It's 100% durum wheat. Really hearty noodle I chose because, I want it to be awesome in 20 minutes. 4 cheeses from around California. I really sought out female cheesemongers. So I did the Cowboy Creamery, Point Reyes, Petaluma did our extra sharp raw cheddar, which was awesome. So And then skipjack, which is a super fun tuna packed in oil. That's the secret to this dish, is it's not just albacore and water, tuna in oil. This is specifically skipjack. And then because when I cook for myself at home, it tends to have a little Asian flair, we have furikake and togarashi, which are the garnish there.
So
Yeah,
it's a little modern play on a tuna casserole.
totally,
Okay,
exactly,
I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome,
All
enjoy.
right, we're going to let the judges, thank you very much, Chef Carrie. We're going to let the judges get to work tasting these and evaluating these. And I'll tell you, the smell is wonderful in here. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about the way that they're evaluating the dishes. So their criteria is, what is the taste and flavor? Of course, that carries a lot of weight. Is this a delicious bite? That's really the most important, let's face it. And I'm going to be tasting actually in just a second to give you my opinion on these dishes too. I don't get to score, but you know. And then the use of the real California dairy. The more dairy, the better, right? The more California cheese and dairy, the better. So we'll be rating that. There's a to-go rating as well. Would this dish be considered commercially viable is a very important piece of this. In that to-go category, is the dish portable? As Neil was saying, it's 20 to 45 minutes that it takes for those dishes to come back and to reach somebody's doorstep. So it has to be portable and hold up well in the container. So that, of course, counts quite heavily in this. And appearance. You know, when you are plating this dish, does the dish look appealing? Is it presented well in the to-go container so that you can't wait to dig in? So those are the criteria that the judges are using. And now I get to do a little fun work, and I'm going to join over at the main table. Do I need plates to bring over? No, we got plates? All right. I'm going to join wonderful Jennifer Jambroni right here, who is the Vice President of Communications for the California Milk Advisory Board, and Kirsten Arias, who is a dairy farmer and a member of the CMAB board, correct? That's correct. All right, so I'm going to give them the microphone, and we're going to look at these delicious dishes and talk about them and taste them. All right.
The tasting is the best part.
What is
it you broke in there?
So we just
An
broke
egg.
this egg yolk. This is the skipjack and cheesy mac, which just looks amazing and creamy and gooey. And then, of course,
We're not here for the food.
We're only here for the food.
We're here for the food.
We're here for the cheese. Let's be
I'm gonna
real.
have a scoop of
Here
that
we
one.
go. We're going to
There
go
we
right over here.
And you can see how beautiful this one is too. Both of these look very appealing.
look at the
in their to-go
creaminess.
containers. Beautiful colors and
So
smells,
fresh.
so creative.
And
All right.
This is the cacio e pepe.
So this is Chef Alex's dish, the cacio e pepe inspired cheese and mac. And then, of course, we've got Chef Carrie's dish here, the skipjack. So, all right, let's
let's see, which one are we trying
Let's start in with
first?
the cacio e pepe.
I already did that.
Okay. Let's
You're-
see.
Kirsten
I've
is
been watching this food for hours. I was ready.
she's reading ahead. I mean, it has that creaminess of that triple cream in there, which is just amazing.
And you know what's beautiful is cacio e pepe is about the pepper. You know, you need pepper in this dish. And you really get that pepper jumping from this, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
You
It's
smell
like you have
it,
that-
you taste it.
The bite of that with the creaminess of the cheese. It's got two cheeses in here. So a triple cream and then a Hispanic style manchego, which is a
Yeah,
really
tell us
interesting.
about the cheeses because you know these cheeses so well.
Well, the triple cream, of course, is just like so luscious and, you know, just buttery. And I mean, in terms of like pour a mac and cheese or a cheese and mac.
Cheese and mac.
cheese
Oh
and
my
mac.
gosh, I violated
calling
the
it
first
cheese and
rule.
mac, of course.
Yes. It's really just a beautiful cheese. It's so already melty and but adds so much depth. And then he's got this Hispanic style manchego, and this is like not like a traditional Spanish manchego, as you know. It's a a lot more like something you would use for mac and cheese. So it's creamy. It's you know, we make so much of this here in California, all of our Hispanic style
California's
cheeses.
known for
Yeah.
its Hispanic cheeses.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So it's an interesting combination, but yeah, that bite of the pepper, it's like I'm still feeling that with a little bit of the heat, which is really, really
Right?
nice.
And the breadcrumbs. I think the breadcrumbs
yeah.
add such a nice
Yeah.
topping to it.
This is just
that little bit of a crunch.
It's a really nice. This is not boxed macaroni and cheese.
No, this is grown up.
This
cheese
is
and mac.
cheese and mac.
This is grown up
This
cheese
is truly
and mac.
cheese and mac.
And Kirsten, I'm going to have you speak into the microphone a little bit. Give us your, you know, so your take on this is delicious.
Well, we make the milk.
Different.
We
You
make the milk. That milk has to leave every day of 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. That milk has to leave, and then we depend on others to turn it into these wonderful ingredients. And then these chefs turn it into these wonderful foods. And the to-go food is here to stay.
Right.
And it was a wonderful switch up to what we needed to do during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's move to that second dish and get some thoughts on that quickly, because I think the judges are wrapping in.
Oh, that's
wrapping
exciting.
up, so-
Exciting. Well, I mean,
Ooh, that's. Got some pepper.
you have the freshness of the peas. You have the cheese. There are 4 cheeses in here, and there's a little bite.
There's a little heat.
Woo!
There is a little heat. I think my nose just started running.
Yeah,
from there.
exactly.
There's a little heat.
Glass of milk.
We do need a glass of
need a
milk
glass of
for
milk.
sure.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Well, and this is cool. This is like the most upscale kind of tuna noodle casserole.
Right.
Like beautiful tuna.
Big pieces of tuna, lush pieces of tuna.
These peas are amazing, but the 4 cheeses, I mean, 4 cheeses that bring the nuttiness, the creaminess, different depths to the
Right.
whole combination. Just really amazing.
I love it. I love
This
it.
is great.
Well, I think we've given you a little taste of what these cheese and mac dishes are. I'm going to go talk to the judges. They're done with their judging, and we're going to get the exciting news. We're going to hear about what they're doing. All right.
Exciting.
So
Thank you.
I think we have one. I'm going to grab this just in case I need a second one. Just in case. All right, judges. Woohoo! How did that go?
Yeah. You know what? You would be hard pressed. Do you want me to do it in here?
Yes, please.
You would be hard pressed to get those in a local restaurant. They're both fantastic.
They're both great, aren't they?
Absolutely excellent.
And we've got chefs here who are going to listen to some of your comments because, in terms of, let's look at the criteria. I had given guests the idea of the criteria. I mean, is this an appealing dish when you get this to go?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Extremely appealing. Both of them are extremely appealing.
I mean, they're incredible. Honestly, I would put those 2 items on any menu. I mean, guys, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, really good. Both really good. Hard for me to pick a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dusky, what do you think?
That's the challenge of the day, right? Alex, I really, really dug the crunchy counterbalance to all the soft and creamy. Like that pile of breadcrumbs of the sourdough garlic breadcrumb on top was a great relief to everything soft. And I felt like the amount of sauce you put on there was perfect for travel. Was totally perfect. If I had to make one tiny ding, it would be that the pepper amount, which is in the name, was very generous. I loved it. I think that the general palate might find it a bit too much, but incredible. And we could taste that dry jack instead of that parm. It was a great switch out for a classic thing. The manchego, delicious. And Carrie, for your presentation with that egg yolk resting on top was so beautiful. Like looking at that with the furikake on top.
And talk a little bit, I think because there was that egg yolk on top, it was a beautiful presentation. And how does that travel? When you have something like that dish, does that travel well?
Well, that was my question. Like either it could, when, once it got home in 25 minutes, it could be that it provided that extra sauce that we're all talking about if you stirred it in. But I was worried about the egg yolk on the travel for sure. Like I just, I don't know. I don't know. We'd need to try it in 25 minutes and see.
There's nothing left.
We don't have time.
We've eaten it all. There's nothing
and I
left.
also, Carrie, really appreciated that we hit all the food groups in your dish. We got our vegetables with our corn and our peas. We got our tuna. So you made sure that it was a complete meal for us, in addition to it being incredibly gorgeous. When you opened it up and saw that
It is
prize
beautiful. I
of
love
the
that
yolk,
egg on top.
It was
That's
so
what I
pretty.
yeah.
So
It was
thank
a-
you.
And Neil, can you give us your impressions?
Well, I think Dusty hit it right on. I mean, both of them were so well balanced. The furikake does an amazing job with that dish. I mean, it just elevates it. I mean, it's a modernistic tuna casserole. I mean, it's incredible. The egg gave it that velvety richness that you so wanted. But my only concern was the traveling of the egg, and I think if I was rethinking it to go for myself, I think I'd go with a poached egg. That way, at least I would be able to hold the temperature a little bit longer. The cacio e pepe, I'm a huge fan of it, and I know you were kind of, because it's not the true Italian version. Actually, to be quite honest, it's actually better. The depth of creaminess that you achieved using the Californian products, it's incredible. I mean, both of these would be on any menu I was putting together. Absolutely wonderful.
I mean, I agree with both the other judges. The pepper was just a little high for the general palate, although
But it is cacio e pepe.
Yes, and we all loved it. But even within the realm of
Right.
cacio e pepe, it was just a tiny bit on the edge. Your sauce, the amount of sauce you gave with it was great. Both of you cooked your pasta perfectly. I know it's not a pasta competition, but you would have won there as well. And my recommendation to Carrie to you, I thought it was awesome, and you definitely need that yolk to give it a little more creaminess. But you know, you might want to think about for portability a cured egg yolk, just shaved on top, and then up the sauce quantity. If my mom made tuna casserole like that, I'd eat it all the time. Thank you.
Including the peas.
And I ate the peas,
You
and
ate
I
the
hate
peas.
peas. so
I was
yeah.
gonna say they've eaten it all.
No, I actually ate the peas. I was a good girl today.
Eating these dishes, has this inspired either one of you or all three of you to think of maybe another dish that you could put on a menu?
I'm just gonna make them like that.
You just
No,
make them
I
like
mean,
that.
really, there's not very much that you could do to improve on the quality
Yeah.
of these dishes. I mean, they're very, very, very professional.
Very
And
creative.
Honestly, I've been in Napa for a few days now, and this is probably the best meal I've had.
There you go, both of you. Congrats on that one.
Yes, and I would just say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So we're gonna all go home and try to imitate what you guys delivered
I'm gonna
today.
leave the peas out, but it was really good. It was really well done.
Thank you. Woo, 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 woo. All right.
We have no idea who the winner is.
well-
but you should both win.
Well, we do have the winner. We now have the tallies in. Kirsten Arreas, who of course is on the board and a dairy farmer herself, is going to announce the winners of this competition. I'm going to get out of the way and let her do that here because we have the chefs both here, and we're fortunate to have Kirsten talk to us about these wonderful dishes and tell us who won.
Well, I won't talk about the wonderful dishes because I've consumed them and they were wonderful. Congratulations to both of you. And thank you for using real dairy products. We appreciate that so much. As a California Milk Advisory Board member and a California dairy farmer myself, I am moved and honored to announce the winners of today's competition. Both of our chef competitors were remarkable at their use of California dairy and the flavors they produced with such iconic dishes. We were impressed with each dish, and it made it hard to pick the winner. Actually, it made it very, very close to pick the winner. Without further ado, the cheese and mac category, I got that right, is Carrie Baird with her dish, Skipjack Cheesy Mac. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You must have been so close.
Here you go. And of course, our very close runner-up in the cheese and mac category is Alex Sadowski, and he receives $1,500 cash award for his efforts. Thank you so much. Thank you. Woohoo! Congratulations.
All right. Well, I think both of these dishes are going to make it on some menus. So I'm going to grab, congratulations, Alex. I'm going to grab Chef Carrie and come on over here and do a quick interview with Chef Carrie to see how you're feeling. I'll give you that. Okay. So tell me, how does it feel to win that competition?
Great. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I really went with something that I was comfortable with and that I make a lot. I didn't go too far out of my wheelhouse. I knew I could get it done in the amount of time. And
Right.
above all, I knew it was tasty. So.
And we didn't give you a lot of time to make
No.
these dishes, so
Yeah.
they're fast, easy, and they could be replicated at home.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
This is for a restaurant quality, of course,
Yeah.
but they could be replicated at home. And what did you think about the judges' comments? Were they helpful?
You know, it's, of course, judges' comments are always helpful. Sometimes they sting a little, you know, and they're talking about something that you might have done on purpose. You're like, you
Right.
want to chime in, but you just have to smile and sit back.
Right, right.
But, you know, it's nice, you know, it's nice to get constructive criticism about your food.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's important that
Absolutely.
you listen and learn every single time.
And how, tell me about using the California cheeses in your recipe. I mean,
Oh my gosh, there were so many cheeses to choose from.
Right.
I had to whittle hundreds, if not thousands, down to 4. And you know, when I chose the 4, I knew I wanted 4, and so I went nutty, salty, stringy,
Right.
sharp. And
Because that dish did have heat. Where did that come from?
the condiments, and I put a little sriracha on the
A
inside.
little sriracha,
Yep.
that explains
Just
that
a
little.
little, just enough to,
that
you
little-
know, cut that
Give you the
fat.
tingle.
Yeah.
Give you the nice tingle.
Yeah, so it was
Right.
tough. I mean, there's so many wonderful cheeses to
Yeah.
choose from.
And why did you want to be part of this competition? Because it's our new, it's an inaugural competition. So we're thrilled that you joined us in terms of participating.
Yeah.
What was it that made you want to?
Well, you know, being brought out to Napa was a big part of it.
Of course.
And you know, the purse was really nice.
Yeah. So what the big question, of course, is I look at her $5,000 right here.
Yeah.
Are you going to Disneyland?
I wish. I didn't even think about that.
Right.
No, but we are going to have some nice food and wine in Napa. That's
Good,
for sure.
Good. That's excellent. Well, thank you, and
Yes.
congratulations to
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
And congratulations, of course, to everybody in the California Milk Advisory Board. And I think we're going to close out this competition here in the cheese and mac category. We want to thank all of the California dairy families for making all of this possible. It has been an exciting cook-off. They were very, very close. We, of course, have discovered new and innovative ways to create cheese and mac. And for more information on the winning dishes and to rewatch this broadcast, you can visit realcaliforniamilk.com/food service. And we're going to take a short break now, and we're going to get ready and retool everything. Chef Carrie's going to go and enjoy her win, and we're going to come back with our next category, CalMex. We have 2 chefs coming in to show off their talents and compete for the $5,000 first prize. The live broadcast will start on the same CMAB Facebook page at 12:30 Pacific time. So this is Leslie Sabraco from the CIA Copia Kitchens in Napa, California. On behalf of the California Milk Advisory Board, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and let's give a big round of applause to Carrie
And Alex.
and Alex. Alex was wonderful, and our judges, and we'll see you all shortly.